This video is for a lot of the kids that I had to deal with, and a lot of the children who were victims of my predators. To Z-Man, I'm sorry that your mom used you in that way. You're just a kid. You should be allowed to have a childhood that doesn't involve middle school drama from your mama. I'm sorry about that, Z-Man. I didn't want you to have to deal with any of this. I'm sorry you got in trouble for trying to tell the truth. For Luna and Little Ted, I'm sorry your dad did the things that he did. I'm sorry about him and your mom being addicts. I'm sorry about the things that they did to your big sisters. I'm sorry that, they might both end up in prison for what they've done to me if I can get a lawyer. I'm not trying to take Ryan Ingersoll to court like I am with them, because Rihanna came forward with the truth. Just like I admitted when I fucked up, Rihanna admitted when she fucked up. I'm sorry your parents are addicts. I'm sorry your dad's a child molester. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to be child molesters. You don't have to be rapists. You don't have to be drug addicts. You don't have to be like your parents. I chose a different way than both of my parents. You can do the same. I'm sorry, Danny and Alyssa, that you had to go through what you had to go through at your mom's house because you couldn't stay off the drugs. I'm sorry that you had to go through the things that you had to go through in Wyoming because Rihanna couldn't stay off the alcohol. I'm sorry that you got put in the system here in Nebraska and in Wyoming. You guys are both a lot like your mom and a lot like your dad. I know them both, and you know that's true. I'm sorry that they both chose drugs over you. That's not your fault. For all of Amy Witcher's kids, I'm sorry for what you had to go through. I'm sorry that you had to be there for what your parents were doing to each other. I'm sorry for what Andrew did to you. I'm sorry that you guys were stuck with me while your dad went off to do meth. I'm sorry that your mom wasn't the mother that she should have been because she was doing cocaine. I'm sorry for those things. I want all of you to know that I had to expose these things to save people's lives, so that the things that happened to Natalie and the things that happened to me and the things that happen to you don't happen to others. They're always going to happen, but we can make it happen for less people. You can grow up and you can fight for these people. You can fight hard so that other people don't have to go through the things that you and I went through. You can use your voice. You can protect those who cannot protect themselves. For Ethan, I want to thank you for still caring about me. And I'm sorry that your mother gets drunk and gets screamy like that. I'm sorry that she gets crazy when she's drinking, and I'm sorry that Rick is so mean. It's not your fault. I'm sorry. Alicia, I know you're not a child anymore. But I'm sorry for what you had to go through. I'm sorry for what you still have to go through. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. Your family shouldn't abandon you. You need help. You need love just like I did. The last conversation you and I had in person, when you were working at the cricket store, you said I just needed to be loved. And you're right. But I needed to be loved right. And so do you. So did your sister. So do your surviving siblings. It wasn't your decision for all of these people to be so cruel to me. But it was your decision not to put a stop to it when you knew that I didn't do those terrible things. To all the adults in these situations, shame on you. Shame on you for doing those things to your own children. Shame on you for not coming forward. To Candace Bondurant's two little girls. I'm sorry that your mom did the things that she did, but she was scared. I'm sorry that You had to be there right after Natalie was killed to have to deal with me while I was having a severe meltdown and just barely able to function. I'm sorry your mother is a liar. You didn't make her that way. You don't have to be like your mother. To Phil and Moostis, I'm sorry that your mom wasn't honest with me, and I'm sorry I had to expose all that in public. I'm sorry that the police in the state where you're at, I'm sorry that they're so crooked and that you can't trust them. I'm sorry that you were the reason that your mother was afraid to come forward. I'm sorry that you were the reason that she didn't go in with me to speak to the police. That doesn't make you bad people. She was trying to protect you. She was trying to keep you safe. Know that your mother loves you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I had to show the truth. To try to save lives, not just mine. To the children of Mandy Hughes, it was wonderful to meet you. I'm glad I got to. You are wonderful children, and your mother is raising you right. She's raising some wonderful children. Alyssa Rainwater, you're not perfect, but you're not a bad person. And your mother does love you very much. I'm very thankful for everything that you did for me, and I understand that you're not a child anymore either. But you're always gonna be your mother's little girl, and she does love you. And I'm sorry that I had to harass you to get a day in court. Hopefully, when you show up, you'll bring all of the evidence. Because if you bring all of the evidence, I might stand a chance of fighting these people in court. I might stand a chance of taking these predators that you and your mother are afraid of off the streets. I might stand a chance of getting some property where we can make ourselves safe from these people. Where you can be the humanitarians that you want to be without fear of the public harming you for telling the truth.